Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
We are your relatives.
We are your relations.
Brothers,
sisters,
sons,
daughters.
And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 70, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 90. See Wicked, the Broadway sensation that tells the untold true story of the Witches of Oz. Experience the magic at the Orpheum Theater from July 8th through August 9th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster and use code TGFWIK for 25% off select performances.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Kadagi, to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we have Dr. Stately coming in on the second segment here. He's running a little behind. And then we have Bob Blake from Red Lake, the Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports. I just wanted to bring up, this is a sad anniversary, a 10-year anniversary of Fernando Castillo, who was shot and killed by the police in Falcon Heights. If you remember that, it was unbelievable. The person he was with was videotaping it, going live stream on Facebook. And this person here told the police officer that he had a gun, and the police officer shot and killed him. And he was a beloved elementary school cafeteria worker, and he was shot by the St. Anthony police during a routine pullover. So I just wanted to, I wanted to give him a shout out. Very, very sad day, and his family and people that worked with him in schools and knew him. Really, he was pulled over in Falcon Heights for a broken taillight and informed the officer he was illegally carrying a licensed firearm. Moments later, he was reaching for his identification, and the officer opened fire. And so I just, again, want to think about him and all the people that knew him. And again, it can happen to anyone. And so we need to really be diligent. I just want to read this real quick. On July 4th in Ho Chunk Nation, there is a day, Corporal Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. And the whole 4th of July celebration is about him. And I wanna read this for everybody out there that's listening. They're talking about Corporal Mitchell Red Cloud Jr., who's Ho Chunk. He was 26 years old when he wrapped himself to a tree with his own shirt so he could keep firing even after his body gave out. This is in North Korea, November 5th, 1950. Corporal Mitchell Red Cloud heard them coming before he saw them. Hundreds of Chinese soldiers advancing through the freezing darkness towards the company's position near where he was. His unit was exposed, outnumbered. If the enemy broke through, every man would die. Red Cloud was positioned on the ridge as part of a regarded detail. He should have pulled back when the assault began. That's what survival looks like. Retreat, regroup, live to fight another day. But retreat meant the enemy would overrun his brothers before they could establish a defensive line. So Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. made a different choice. He stood up in full view and opened fire with his Browning automatic rifle. The enemy immediately turned their guns on him. Bullets tore into his body. He staggered but didn't fall. Witnesses later said he seemed to be pulling the enemy towards himself, drawing their fire, their focus, their fury away from the men behind him. Every second he stayed standing, his unit gained ground. Every burst from his rifle brought them time to dig in. Then he was hit again and again. His body was failing. He knew it, and everyone was watching knew it. That's when he did something that still haunts the men who survived that night. Red Cloud took off his shirt, wrapped it around himself and the tree stump, and tied himself upright. If his legs wouldn't hold him, the tree would. He kept firing. The enemy kept coming. Red Cloud kept shooting. His vision was blurred. His hands shook. Blood soaked into the frozen ground beneath him. But he did not stop. Only when the enemy assault broke, when he retreated under the relentless fire from this one man who refused to die quietly, only then did Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. fall silent until his unit survived, because he did not. And he's a member of the Ho Chunk Nation. He carried his identity quietly, serving his country, and often failed to fully see Indigenous people, even as they bled for it, and he never came home to Wisconsin, and he never heard the words Medal of Honor spoken over him. He never knew his name would become etched in history, and he received the medal, arrived in April 2nd, 1951, as they always do for men who give up everything. The citation described extraordinary heroism. And so, Native Americans, and I want to just pull Mishko up here for a quick minute here before we go to break. That's one of those stories we hear, Mishko. July 4th is Red Cloud Day in Ho Chunk country in Wisconsin, and that's the reason why he was a hero. And, Native Americans sign up for the military and are in the military per capita more than any other race. And we got to give our flowers out to all the people that join the service and fight for this country that doesn't always fight for them.
Yeah, I think growing up, going to powwow, I was faced with the question on why do we have a veteran song? Why do we carry in the flags? And why are we honoring, the American flag? And personally, I don't believe it as just honoring the flag. We're honoring all of our relatives who have served. My grandpa served. My brother is currently in the Marines. And so we're honoring those people who risked their lives for us. And in my own opinion, I do believe that in the history, in our culture, warriors were very revered, and it was like that's how they gained their eagle feathers, was because they're fighting for the people and they're fighting for the land, and that's just another way that they can serve the people and serve our community.
Yeah, and definitely at one time only veterans could name you. And that was a thing years ago. And powwows too, I think you were mentioning powwows too were started because we were welcoming our warriors back. And that's why we have grand entry. And that's why we have a lot of our veterans lead in grand entry too.
Yes, so much respect for our veterans and for the people who serve. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. That's a good July 4th story because I know in Black River Falls on the 4th of July, there was a big parade and things happening for Mitchell Red Cloud Jr., who made a difference and saved many, many lives. And we're still honoring him here. And I just wanted to bring up that story because I'm sure a lot of our Wisconsin and Minnesota listeners do not know that story. And it's pretty amazing. Hey, I got to give Wally here. He's a U.S. Special Operation. I think he's saying that he is now. I want to give Wally a big shout out that's listening to us and watching us on all the social medias that we go live and talk, YouTube, Facebook, X, and StreamYard. So we're going to have Dr. Stately on and then Bob Blake with the solar news and sports. And thanks, Misko, for dropping in and talking about this with me. I know you're a big powwow person and you're a great dancer and you make regalia for other people and you know what you're talking about. So appreciate you stopping in. Hey, up next again, Dr. Stately. This is Native Roots Radio. Ho! Let's hear you, Misko. Ho!
Ho!
All right. We'll be right back.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Native Roots Radio, and I am Robert Pilot, your host. And we are here with our friend, Dr. Stately, CEO and president of Native American Community Clinic. Dr. Stately, I miss you. I'm glad you're on.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Well,
Have you been?
I know one of the things I'd really love to talk to you about is how are things happening at the new clinic? A lot of your energy has been on that lately, and I know you've also
it's taken
been
up a
in
outsized-
ceremony too.
Yeah, it's been taking an outsized amount of my energy and time and focus. We are 2 months from opening, or taking occupancy, I guess, is the way I'm being told to describe that. So we're expecting to take occupancy, meaning the city will give us, inspectors will give us the right to move into the building on September 9th, which is, just 2 months from this Thursday.
Wow.
So excited about that. Things are moving forward. As if you drive past the building now, you're going to see there's no more crane up. Everything that structurally sort of needs to be there is there. Like all of the structures there. There's from the outside looking at the building, you can see that the paneling is going up on the building, and some of the art, much of the art that's going to be on the outside of the building is there already. There's more to happen with that. I took a walk through the clinic, I think a little over a week or two ago, and it's no longer framing, it's actual walls and doors, and there's paint on the walls, and there's so it's like,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, actually. Like, it just, knocks me over, actually. Sometimes I'm like speechless sometimes. So.
It's amazing because we've been talking about this, but to me, it's amazing. I see it every time on Franklin Avenue, and it's just like all the work that's gone into this and all the work that's going to happen, because the first 2 floors are the medical center, and then you have 4 other floors for housing. And man, oh man, do we need that. And we also need a great clinic that you have. So it's going to be a beacon of hope in the community.
Yeah, well, thank you. And yes, we're in the process now of developing our, we're working through our plan for moving in. It's not going to be, we expect that there will be a little bit of slowdown. I think one of the things people are really excited, it's going to be opening in September. We hope to have our new parking lot established in the back of the new building, which is our existing building. So we got to move into the new building and take everything that we need from that old building, which isn't, we're getting a lot of new equipment and stuff like that. But I think, everyone's going to spend the next month or 2 packing their things, getting rid of the stuff. And we just sent an email out to all the staff today, take your personal belongings home, take your art off the walls if you're going to hold on to it, and those kinds of things. But it's really intended specifically to start setting the ground level sort of expectations for how everybody individually and collectively need to sort of make this move a priority, so that we can get it accomplished and get it done. Our goal is, I know seems like a really unreasonable goal, and when my operations team talks to me, I'm like, are you sure we can get this accomplished in this way? And they're like, they're confident. We have movers, we have a few shakers and other folks within the clinic, but we're having outside movers help us with a lot of the moving. We hope to move in over the course of the last week of the first week of September, and then over the weekend, and have a soft open. I'm not going to try to conquer the world the first week we open. So we'll probably have a lower number of availability for appointments the first few weeks, as people are learning their space and their new desk and their new location. We're crammed in this little tiny building in the middle of this strip mall for the last 20 years. So having things in different spaces, one department on another floor that used to be on all the same floors. All that stuff's going to take time to navigate and learn. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of luxurious time at the beginning of the first couple weeks and then kind of ease into things. But we expect that we'll be fully operational within the first few weeks of moving in.
Wow, that's amazing, and good on you. And time has flown. I can't believe. I mean, it's probably not flown for you, but me just going to Avenue.
It has a little bit. It has a little bit. I mean, I thought it would take much longer than a year to get this accomplished. I want to remind folks that, and people remind me all the time, we just broke ground last May, a year ago May. So
wow,
right. Remember, last May we were digging up the ground, right, and for the first month or so, it was a big hole in the ground, and so
wow.
It's pretty remarkable that we're this far along.
I was eating at a restaurant right next door to it, and I saw the architect. It was really funny. About 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, kind of admiring his work. He was looking up at the building. I was knocking on the window, but he didn't hear me. But
That's funny.
It was funny. It was very cool. I ran into him since, and I said, "Yeah, I saw you checking out your building."
We're really proud of the building. I think it's the things, there's a lot of the reasons to be proud of it, but it is going to be we with intention put a lot of thought and idea and intentionality into sort of creating a space that felt, deeply Indigenous. You're going to know that you're walking into an Indigenous space. And from even the moment before you even go into the place, right? So, there's going to be medicine gardens around the property. There's going to be, the wolf will be back somewhere over there.
Yeah.
And he or she has been in storage for the last year. And then we have another sculpture that we're launching, a new bear sculpture that I haven't shown a whole lot of people that sculpture yet. And those two relatives will be at the front of the clinic on on the west side of the clinic. The entry into the clinic is on the west side. Entry to the housing is on the east side, closer to Aldi. But those two relatives will be at the front doors of the north facing door and then the south facing door. Pretty excited about that because I think it's going to be, it's a good representation of who we are and how we've evolved over the last 10 years under my leadership. The wolf was our signature sort of iconic image for a really long time because it was in the sculpture garden. It was a really big part of who we are. But we redid our bear, we redesigned our bear. We hired a new person. We had an artist, an Indigenous artist we worked with. We created a new logo. So that bear is the foundation of that bear that's part of our new logo has been the foundation of the way we think about. So the bear is for us and also Ojibwe people represents medicine. And so those are things that we've really put into, we put a lot of effort into making the space feel like it's, Indigenous, Native specific. We have a strong Dakota footprint in that building, in the lobby, and on both the first floor and the second floor. A lot of really amazing artists have contributed, just stellar art. Every time I look at it, I am overwhelmed and blown away. But I'm just amazing.
Well, you want to take it home, don't you? Want to tear it off?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would have to actually rip it off the building, but no one's going to be able to take it off the building. It's going to be part of the building.
How excited are the people that work with you for this?
I think everybody's really excited. They're really excited, I think, and they're excited to have a new place. I think it was just normal, sort of I think, remember, if you ever remember, when you were younger, or even more recently in your life, if you had to move from one place to a new place, I felt this way when I bought my house in 2020, I mean, I was in the hospital with COVID, but I moved into the place the week after I got out of the hospital. But I just remember feeling like excited, but also anxious and like, oh gosh, and it was like new space, have to figure it out, I have to lean into this and learn how to live here. When I've been comfortable someplace else for a really long time. So it's kind of the same thing. I think that people are both really, really excited. Some people are more excited than they are anxious and vice versa. And that's, I think, just part of being a human being, I think. So,
yeah.
But we're helping them work through it. We have an all staff meeting tomorrow. We're going to talk all about that. We closed our doors for the morning, and we're spending time with our staff and everybody that works there and everybody who's part of the clinic, talking to them about what the next actually, not just the next 2 months or 3 months while we move in, but what the next couple of years look like, because we're going deep with the indigenous structure too. So yeah.
Wow. I know you are so busy, and I really appreciate you coming on and giving us an update, and I can't wait to see this building, Dr. Stately. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Right on. Great work. And, I miss you, and I'm glad you're able to come on, and we'll have to.
By the way, this is amazing, by the way. Good job.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that from a former editor. I really do. Really do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. He raised the magazine, The Circle, that I'm chief editor of. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll be back with Bob Blake from Red Lake. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces is having its annual store-wide sale. For the entire month of July, all of our indoor and outdoor fireplace products and accessories are at their lowest price of the year. At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we display, explain, and install the Twin Cities' most diverse selection of indoor and outdoor stoves and fireplaces, including metal and masonry pizza ovens.
My dog Stenson loves summers, visiting the dog park, long walks in the woods, and sleeping in the sun. But he is missing winter. Oh, not the outdoor outhouse, snow on his paws or frozen ears, but those lovely long nights in front of the fire. I bought an energy-efficient wood stove from Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces about 7 years ago. Having a wood stove means more than lower heating bills. It means a happy dog.
Come see us. We have over 35 working displays in our store, which is just off I-94 at the corner of Riverside and East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, since 1977, out of the ordinary products and services to make fire work for you.
Grab delicious popcorn from Popcorn. You've heard me talk about Popcorn's delicious flavor, street tacos, zesty taco seasoning, savory spices, and a hit of lime brightness. It's amazing. Well, get it now, as it's only going to be available until the end of July. And remember, get any size popcorn flavor popcorn at regular price. Get a second bag of equal or lesser value for 50% off. Go to popcorn.com. That's Popped corn.com. Enter the discount code MATT. That's discount code MATT. Enjoy your favorite gourmet flavor with Popcorn.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 70, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 90. Gatherings Cafe serves incredible indigenous flavors centered in ancestral knowledge and where tradition meets innovation. Gatherings Cafe is open for breakfast and lunch, located inside the newly renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center. Visit gatheringscafe.com for more.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and we are with our friend Bob Blake from Red Lake, the Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports. Bob, I hope you're doing okay. It looks like you're in your car, and I'd hate to have you have heat stroke. It's hot out there. Ho!
Yeah, Robert, it is incredibly hot out here. I am in my car. I tried to make it home. I tried to make it back, but the traffic is ridiculous, Robert, today. So I think everybody's out like trying to get things done, because I was told that it's going to be hot for the rest of the week.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll have to get on your yacht and go do jumping, swimming off your yacht there after we go to a Lynx game in your suite. Oh, wow.
Incidentally, Robert, the Minnesota Lynx are having one heck of a season, and rookie Olivia Miles is not playing this evening. And so, yeah, so I you brought it up, and I always go with with the way you go with the show, and I had to say that because she's having a stellar season this year, and so some would even call it maybe historical. So there hasn't been something like this since Candace Parker of Los Angeles.
Yeah. Hey, I see you have your swag on today. Where are you coming from right now?
I am coming from Prairie Island, everybody. Solar Bear was down there taking a look at a possible solar project, and we were getting some measurements and taking a look at some of the things they want to do out down there. So it was really exciting. Going to get some charging stations happening, and so just a really kind of a long day. Solar Bear trying to get charging stations installed and solar projects built. What I do every day.
That's right. Well, and I like the swag that you're wearing. I like that shirt too that you have there. I'm an extra large, just a FYI. Ho!
And I got to tell you, Robert, the Solar Bear solar glasses have arrived. So I am going to have to get you a couple of pair to hand out. But yeah, they have so far been a big hit with everyone who's been taking them.
Yeah, well, maybe we can hand them out at the fair for you too, with a trading post and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have to get you a stack of them. Robert, there's a lot going on in the news right now.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so what, I wanted to ask you, what are you thinking about, a lot what's happening. I know Peggy Flanagan, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, is in Red Lake today at the powwow and fair. And from the way that I understood it, she had a great day and has definitely got the support of the Red Lake Nation. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting, Bob, and we really need to uplift our lieutenant governor friend because she's being out. There's all this bad money coming in the state, over $11 million, and I can't turn on YouTube or anything without seeing an ad for Angie Craig, and it's sickening.
It really is, Robert. And and that's what come like, we have to get this corporate money out of our politics. It's ruining our political system and it's ruining, our country. And the one thing that I know the lieutenant governor is going to do is when she gets elected, she will, align herself with those that are there in Washington that will get rid of Citizens United and get rid of these horrible policies that have just seemed like they've, crept into our political, way of life. And it's just ruining our politics. And like you said, the amount of money that is coming in from Bitcoin people or, AI people, whoever these people are that are showing these negative ads against the lieutenant governor, that should say enough, Minnesota voters, that you know who to vote for in this election.
Yeah, and the whole thing too is that they're lies. You can't, and there's 10 times when somebody puts out a fake ad like that with all those lies, you have to respond 10 times over before people believe the truth. And so that's the real sad thing about these fake ads and people from out of state putting these ads up that are just ridiculous.
Absolutely. And the one thing too, Robert, is like, it'd be different. Like, it was really interesting. I was talking to one of the engineers down there at Prairie Island, and he used to work in the nuclear power plant. And he was explaining to me, this is what 650,000 gallons of water goes through every minute to, that goes through that plant to cool the nuclear power plant, right? He says,
wow,
that produces about a megawatt of energy. He's like, he goes, do you know that these data centers, he says, are going to take a megawatt, like all that energy that's being produced and it's being like directed out into the communities to run homes, businesses, you name it. I mean, all over the place down in southeastern Minnesota. That's only going to be running a data center, everything that nuclear power plant produces. And the reason why I bring this up, everybody, is because these are the type of people that are putting this money behind Angie Craig. And these are the type of people that are like, going to be raising your electricity bills. These are the type of people that they don't care about your health care. They don't care about, early childhood education. I mean, they're going to be sucking our natural resources to appease what they're doing in these data centers and whatnot. And this is the money that's behind, Congressman Craig. So I mean, just alone on that, Robert, people need to start paying attention because these are the people that are destroying our political, system.
I think last time we talked too, I was really disappointed that the mayor of Minneapolis supports Angie Craig, but it does make sense too.
And I kind of wonder, Mayor Fry and Mayor Herr, St. Paul and Minneapolis and, the DFL, they're really these moderates, I call them the corporate Democrats,
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are really pushing this because the corporate money behind it, right? And this is how we got Trump. This is how we got MAGA, because because of the moderates. And so I think what you're seeing across the country is you're seeing a lot of people who are paying attention and they are voting with these democratic socialists, what they're trying to call us, right? And All we want, Robert, is like, quality healthcare, affordable housing, affordable education. Like, I don't really feel like all these are necessarily a bad thing, but you get people like on Fox News and you get all these other, individuals like Congressman Craig, saying that this is a bad thing. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know, Robert. It just feels like, and that's where Mayor Fry and Mayor Hurt, they're falling into this DFL corporate dynamic. I call it the DFL mafia. I know people don't like
Yeah.
hearing that, but it is what it is, Robert.
Yeah, it really is what it is. But the people that are supporting the lieutenant governor, Bernie Sanders, and it's just crazy because I feel like when they try to name the Democrats socialists, it's like, well, we're all socialists. Do you like your fire department? Do you like your police department? I mean, what are we trying to get at here? And it's just boggling because it's easy to name these names and people not really understanding what the definition of these names are. It's just it's ridiculous, and it's fear mongering and all those things. People just want people to be able to live, and that's why, for me, I'm just like upset when I hear the Timberwolves owner Alex Rodriguez. I remember seeing him on a TV show, and how he got his wealth, of course, was from playing Major League Baseball, but also he's proud that he owns 350,000 doorknobs. And you know what that means? He owns 350,000 houses. And that's why in less than 5 years, the average cost of a home is $160,000, is now $300,000 to get into your first starter home.
Oh yeah, very good point right there, Robert. A lot of these hedge funds, a lot of these corporate, what they did is they saw the crash coming in the corporate real estate market, where people were like taking their meetings online through Zoom and like through
Yeah.
Google Hangouts, and they were leaving downtown, and they went and started buying all these homes, and they started taking the depreciation and the appreciation and doing all the tax work and artificially raising the prices on homes in all of these home markets and creating all this wealth. And now what I hear is they're doing it with these trailer parks now.
Oh my God.
That's their next hustle now. That's what I hear now they're doing now. So yeah, we need to get corporations out of this. I think there was a bill that Senator Tina Smith just recently supported too. And so I think that's a good first start.
Hey, we're going to talk a little bit more with Bob Blake from Red Lake, the Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports. We got people marching in Washington, D.C. with masks on and taking the light rail, and they don't even know how to do that. It's just ridiculous. We're going to talk a little bit more, and we're really happy to have Bob Blake on. And this is the Solar Bear with the Solar News, and Native Roots Radio will be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Ho!
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
When we heal from our traumas,
when we face our fears,
let go of our addictions,
when we relearn our values,
when we live our teachings,
respecting our elders,
cherishing and honoring our children,
when we honor and take care of our spirit,
there will be no room left for sexual violence.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and I'm with Bob Blake. I always laugh at that, Bob. You hear Wendy do a little bear roar every time. Well, hopefully you were able to turn on your car and turn on the air conditioning for a few minutes during the break there, because I know it's super hot out there. What's going on here? We got the Tiki Warriors back out with masks on in DC and taking the public transit to their march. And man, oh man, let's do something about this. What the heck is going on?
Well, that picture, Robert, of that black woman on the train. It's going to be the picture of the year. You know what I mean? Because it
right.
On our 250th anniversary of this country, we're still dealing with this, and we're still dealing with this hate. And I really loved her shirt, though. Her shirt was the Originals. She was wearing an Originals shirt. If you look at that picture, she's wearing an Originals, shirt, which is really cool. So, but Robert, let's remember too what happened to the Nazis, right? Like the Nazis, we got rid of them, and remember, all of those guys went, to court and were charged with war crimes. So everyone out there, you think these guys are cool, you think that they're doing the right thing. I'm sorry to say, man, but it didn't turn out good the last time around, and it's not going to turn out good this time for these people. So, the only thing that can drive out this hate, Robert, is love. And all this is going to pass, and all these people are going to crawl back into their miserable little holes, and and they're going to just be beside themselves, because they're never going to be what they claim that they feel like they're going to be. And that's the truth. You know what I mean? And we've got more love in this country than we have more hate. And that's the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you posted something. Excuse me. You posted something about the battery Germany just designed uses salt and air instead of lithium. Holy mackerel, we've been talking and waiting for this, haven't we?
Yes, Robert, this is huge. We don't have to mine it. We have enough salt. We have enough air. We have everything we need to make this a reality. And wondering again, leave it to the Germans, right? To come up with this amazing invention. And everyone, I'm sorry, but I don't know if we're going to need to be mining. I'm on a mining panel this Thursday. And I think this question is going to come up from the audience, and it's here in the Twin Cities. Yeah. And I got to say, this is an incredible breakthrough. And the fact that this is happening in real time, and there's plenty of chemistries that are being experimented on, for battery technology. But
Mhm.
no matter how we cut it, we're going to need storage in order to, get to crush climate change. So,
Yeah.
because the sun doesn't shine at night. It doesn't shine at night, Robert. So we're going to need these batteries for the evening. So I think this is great news, and it's been spreading like wildfire across a bunch of the I guess techie websites that I look at. There's been a lot of talk about this.
Yeah, you got this off the engineering post, and really excited. We've been waiting for this, and this is when technology takes over, and things like this. You need the government to be behind, and I don't mean take it over, but to support this, and that's how we can move and get change quicker. And hopefully, there's not mining companies that are going to be paying off politicians. So just like I don't know if you remember this, you're awfully young, but, we had in the Twin Cities one of the best, rail systems in the world, and they got rid of it because people wanted to sell tires, and, they're still digging up tracks that you could go everywhere, so we gotta keep an eye on that so dark money, dirty money doesn't get in and crush this.
Which brings me back to our first conversation this evening, Robert. That's why your vote matters so much, and that's why voting for Lieutenant Governor Flanagan is so important in this election, because she's the type of person that is going to make sure that when we do this transition, everybody comes along for the ride and not just a few rich people.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've reached out to the lieutenant governor, and there was a great interview at Pride on Sunday on the Matt McNeil show with the lieutenant governor, and it's glad that she's talking to our 200,000 listeners, which could make a big difference. And we want not only us to talk about her, but we want her to come in and pull up a chair and talk about what she wants to talk about. So we're really excited that she's doing that, and she needs to do more of that, and I'm sure she will.
Absolutely, Robert. And just to get back, Robert, real quickly, we were talking about the housing
Yeah.
situation last segment. There was a bill that went through that was passed with the Bill Pulte, I think, of Pulte Homes. He pushed this bill for Native American housing in tribal lands. And what I'm worried about on this, uh, Robert, is this could be. I'm wondering if it's going to be another type of like housing scheme that we had before when the economy almost collapsed back in the early 2000s. And
Yeah.
and this is what I want tribes and I want Native people to be just very cautious of. This on the surface, it sounds great, getting more funding into Native country and housing and all that. But they always say, Robert, the devil's in the details. What is
Yes.
in the details on that, Robert? You know what I mean? Is that a way for them to slowly try to take away tribal countries' land, to create some type of opportunity where they get people missing their payments so they can repossess their homes and then start like slowly eroding, you know, uh, Native people's, Native countries' land. So I'm just saying, like, that's out there too, and I forgot to bring that up in last segment, but that was one thing I wanted to mention. That I think that's a very serious thing that's happening right now. So just Native country, be aware.
Yeah, I'm glad you're reporting that, and we have to be aware of that too. That's a huge. Wow, time's flown here, and we only got like a minute left. Bob, do you want to give us a quick update on what you see in the sports scene here in the five-state area? Because we got a big following in Wisconsin too, and I know those Brewers are in first place. I love that.
Yeah, and the USA in the World Cup is playing tonight. This is if they win this game, they're going to, I believe, the quarterfinal now, right? And this is really exciting. I don't know, Robert. I've been watching the World Cup. I've been having a great time watching soccer. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm having a blast watching soccer. And the Solar Bear is going to be cheering for the USA tonight. They're playing, and so I'm super excited about that.
Hey, we're cheering for the Solar Bear with the Solar News and Sports and Native Sun. Appreciate you coming on, Bob. As always, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Ho! Bob's waving vigorously just for everybody listening on the radio. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. From Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on, it's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, and run for office and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation. See you tomorrow. Ho!